Today we're here to let you hear about the reasons why these things are important, not just for the people of Tūhoe or for those of us on the list of 88, but for all people living in this country.
I want to talk about what happened to me and my family and why this day is special to me. You know, meeting Tame and his people who have gone through a similar experience. On the day of the raid, when it occurred, at first I had no idea what's going on. I thought this must be a mistake. And then when the case unfolded and we found out that, you know, illegal spying was involved, I got really interested to find out more, because at that point I knew it wasn't just a mistake. This raid wasn't just someone who got it wrong. It was this government that wanted to send a strong message around the world for Hollywood, for the US government, to say, well, this is this new war on piracy. And I was their prime initial subject, and I know that this government was deeply involved in making that happen. And I realized that when they started using the most sophisticated, advanced spy agency in this country to monitor me and my family.
We need to use our personal experience of harm to change the politics that enable that harm to be caused to others. And I salute Kim for having done that. And I salute Tūhoe for having demanded accountability for the offences against your mana that we saw back in 2007. So the policy that we are announcing today calls for a complete re-examination of our security relationships. It says that we will repeal the laws that were passed last year, the GCSB law and the TICSA law, that between them allow all our communications to be retained in a big computer in Utah in the United States for however long the space lasts, and at the moment there is enough for that computer to hold 5 years worth of the entire world's communications. So we want out of that. We want out of the Five Eyes spying agreement, because we don't want New Zealand to be a hub for spying on innocent people around the world, and we don't want the agencies and countries involved to spy on New Zealanders and others who happen to be present in New Zealand at any time. We want a Royal Commission of Inquiry which will look into all the operations of all our intelligence services, the SIS, the GCSB, and relevant parts of the police and any other agencies. We'll make recommendations on how we can remove functions that are not consistent with protecting New Zealand's genuine security needs, and transfer the functions of those agencies either into a new agency or to the New Zealand Police, but under proper independent oversight, including the proper oversight of Parliament.
And there were only 3 people arrested here in Ruatoki on that day, but there was over 3,000 people held almost at gunpoint, held unlawfully, arbitrarily, without justification in this valley. The valley was shut down, and I've been waiting since that time for the apology and compensation from the Crown, not to those that were arrested, but to all my aunties and uncles and all of my cousins who were innocents on that day, who were described by one police minister at the time, and she was a Labour police minister, as collateral damage. Now my family are not collateral damage. They are people of absolute kindness and generosity. They are people of mana, and I bet you even today they don't know for how many years they were being spied upon in this valley. there's a lot of parallels between what happened to Mr. .com and the families here. You know, his wife was hapu, 7 months. Her and her children, 5 of them were rounded up. No contact with her partner. No kai, no money. They had no access to any help while Mr. .com was in jail for a month. Very similar stories to what happened to all of those wrongfully accused originally during the raids. I haven't been able to talk about it for a long time because while they were before the courts on appeal, everything was suppressed and all the information hasn't been able to be talked about. So one of the things we're thinking about too is also writing a book about it. I've been hoping that the victims of this oppression would write the book. I mean, you'd be surprised where they had their spying cameras in the most innocuous of places, you know, down the river, up a tree, on a power pole, in an urupa, in a marae. You know, those things should never happen for me. You cannot justify spying on anybody's marae.